Welcome to the yet another episode of the Entrepreneur Talks. On today's episode, we have with us the founder of MYBYK, Mr. Arjit Soni. Arjit is running this business from last 7+ years and has seen many highs and lows as an entrepreneur. Before starting this business, he pitched this business idea to our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In this episode, he shared some valuable insights for aspiring entrepreneurs like you. In this episode, you will learn why you should believe in your business idea more than you believe in yourself, why Mumbai is a great city to learn but not a great city to live, how you can tackle problems in your daily life, and many more. If you are learning about entrepreneurship from our videos, if it's adding value in your life, then please support us monetarily by clicking on the payment link in the description. You can pay whatever amount you want to pay if you want us to keep delivering this kind of videos to you. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon to get regular updates from the Spotlight. So on that note, let's start. So like you came back from Mumbai, you started working with your father. Then how did you actually started MYBYK, and what are the researches that you did?
When I moved back from Bombay to Ahmedabad, I was very happy because it was a great city to learn, but definitely not a great city to live. And when I moved back, I thought to myself, "Hey, यार Bombay से तो भाग के आ गया, but Ahmedabad से भाग के कहाँ जाएगा?" So if I don't do something about my city, eventually it's going to turn into another Bombay. And what I realized based on my Bombay experience is that private vehicles cannot grow beyond a point. And the problem is not pollution. I think that's one of the problems. The bigger problem is space. Where do you have space to park these vehicles? So buying a car is cheap, but owning a car is getting more and more expensive because since everyone can afford a car, but not everyone can afford a parking space.
Right.
And that's when I thought that the best alternative is public transport. Now with public transport, the challenge is it gives you B2C connectivity. But what about your A to B and C to D, the first and last mile? So with this self-introspection and this constant ideation and talking to myself, I built a strong rationale that certainly private vehicles cannot grow beyond a point. I mean, the world is chasing electric cars, but the problem remains, where are you going to park the car? So pollution is just one part of the problem. The bigger problem is traffic, congestion and parking.
Right.
So with this strong rationale, I was convinced that public transport is the future, and with this idea of MYBYK, I thought I would be able to solve the problem of first and last mile.
Right.
Then finally, I tried to connect, and I luckily got a chance to meet Narendra Modi when he was the Chief Minister.
Right.
To my utter surprise, he was very receptive to a 25-year-old.
Right.
When I still laugh at the presentation that I took in front of him. I didn't even bother to get the presentation designed. Such was the conviction that I had in my idea. So I went and I pitched to him. And to my utter surprise, he was very receptive to a 25-year-old, and he said, अर्जित आपका आइडिया है, आप ही को इम्प्लीमेंट करना पड़ेगा, आपको मेरे से क्या मदद चाहिए? So then I laid down some help that I wanted, and I got those permissions, and I finally launched MYBYK in the year 2014 on World Environment Day.
Right. So you said a very good line about Mumbai, that it's a good city to learn and not a good city to live. So coming to a learning part, what are the 3 learnings that you picked from your Mumbai time?
Certainly, Bombay, and for that matter, whenever you move out of your hometown, move away from your family, you learn a lot. You basically learn life skills.
Right.
So small decision-making points, are something that develop you as a person. I mean, for an example, the first time I landed in Bombay and I had to finalize a flat, and I met a broker, I saw a flat. Now all this is fine, but when it came to, conclusion, the broker asked me to give him brokerage in cash. Now no agreement was signed, nothing had happened, and I had to pay cash trusting him. And so these are small decisions that when we are sitting in your comfort zone with family, you are not challenged by such decisions. Your parents are taking care of that and you don't realize. So that would be one. Secondly, Bombay definitely gave me a larger perspective, because when you go to a big city and see its problems, you can perceive the future for a smaller city. So the fact that Ahmedabad is going to face the same challenges that Bombay is, is what gave me the conviction to go ahead with the idea of MYBYK.
Right.
Yeah. So certainly going out of your comfort zone and going away from your family, I think is very important to develop you as an individual.
Right. So there are a lot of misconception also, and there are a lot of confusion about, how to get a fund from investors. So like, what are the, when you are going to an investor for funding, what are the things you should prepare really well as an entrepreneur? कि ये अगर ये पूछेगा तो मुझे उसका आंसर मालूम होना चाहिए.
Okay, so it has taken me a lot of time, because I didn't come from a business background. The entire family has been of professionals, so I never got the right mentoring in terms of understanding that एक business day one से profit नहीं कमाएगा. Though I was a chartered accountant, I never had the confidence to understand how a business will go to profitability. मतलब मुझे दिख रहा था, but मैं investors को convince नहीं कर पा रहा था.
Right.
So based on my experience, I can certainly tell that for any budding entrepreneur, what he should look at is what he is going to generate as a revenue per I mean unit economics. So in my case, it's revenue per bike, and what are going to be my variable costs. So like कि जितनी मैं cycles बढ़ाऊंगा उतना मेरा revenue भी बढ़ेगा, लेकिन उतनी मेरी ये cost तो बढ़नी है pro rata, which gives you your gross margins. Then you have to work out your semi-variable costs and your fixed costs, and based on that you arrive at your net profit. So the point I'm trying to make is that when you go to an investor and pitch your product, it should generate gross margins and very healthy and high gross margins. Only then your business is scalable, investable, sorry. Secondly, for an investor, while he wants to see high gross margins, it's fine if you're not generating profitability, because unless you scale, you'll never be able to generate net profit. So it's very important to generate gross margins, and it's very important that your market is big and the idea is scalable.
Right.
I mean, these two things, if you can take care of, then you can confidently go and pitch in front of investors, and if investors understand, I'm sure they would be happy to invest in.
Right. If you are, going through like year and if you are not seeing the result that you wanted, there is a negative voice in our head that started, overpowering our positive side. कि नहीं हो रहा है, you should quit this, you should pursue other ideas, look at your peers. We start finding excuses and comparison. We compare ourselves with other people. So how you deal with that a negative self-doubt wala tone in your head, and how you overcome from that?
See, so again, here I would like to say that the reason why I could persist for 7 years was the conviction and belief in my idea.
Right.
I think a lot of people say to start up you need to believe in yourself. My approach is, it doesn't matter whether you believe in yourself or not. What matters is how much do you believe in your idea, because your belief can change based on your mood. आज आपको आप पे भरोसा है, कल आपको सडनली कुछ इवेंट और आपको लगेगा शिट मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा ये, बट आपके आइडिया पे आपका कितना भरोसा है वो मैटर करता है. Whenever I would get this negative, whenever I would feel like that it's time to quit, the first question for me was, do my customers love my product? Yes, the answer was yes. Am I generating operational margins? The answer was yes. अगर मैं MYBYK नहीं करूँगा तो मैं क्या करूँगा? I can easily stop MYBYK, get a job, or again get into my father's practice and again start making crores. But then what will I do with that money? So I realized that the answer was that मुझे ultimately life में एक social impact लाना है, and that is what is going to give me eternal happiness. So you constantly have this introspection with you, and constantly you keep asking yourself, you keep questioning yourself, and as long as you are finding answers which are convincing, you continue on the path. Right. And it doesn't matter then what's happening around you. Problems will keep on coming, unexpected problems will keep on coming, but as long as you have that attitude of solving problems, over a period of time you develop a very thick skin and you don't get disturbed by the problems that you're coming. That's what entrepreneurship does. I mean, I remember that Will Smith video when he narrated about that, all friends ganged up and decided that we'll go skydiving tomorrow. And that night you are not able to sleep. The next morning you are tensed and you're going through the process of skydiving. You sit in the plane, you go to the top, and then he opens the door. Then your friends jump. And then your turn comes. And he says that, until that moment, the decision had not come. Why was I nervous? That decision that I had to take was at that point where I could have said yes or no. So that's the whole point, that when you come across a problem, you're not dead until you reach that last point, right? So till that point, you have that fighting chance, right? So problem aa raha hai, accept it, acknowledge it that it will come, and take a breathing time. And I'm sure I usually sleep a lot over my problems.
Right.
And usually when I wake up in the morning, I somehow have figured out a solution to it.
Right.
So that's my approach now, that let the problems come. I anticipate problems to come rather than getting surprised by them. I've accepted that is the whole part of entrepreneurship. Right. And you over a period of time become a machine, and you become a problem.
It becomes muscle memory in your thing. Yeah. So like, I really like the answer. I really like the analogy also, because our audience will like the Will Smith wala analogy a lot more. So good, yeah. Because self-awareness is the key that I found.
Yeah.
And like one last year of running Spotlight also, that I have to become more and more self-aware. In that way, I will, take very good decisions also, and I will avoid bad decisions by just being a self-aware in myself. So the last question of the podcast: what is the one advice you want to give to a budding entrepreneur, and what is that one advice they should ignore?
The advice that they should ignore is start early, fail fast. I think start early and don't fail or don't chase failure, but accept that failure will happen. Certainly don't follow this advice of start early and fail fast, because why fail is my question. The advice that I would like to give is talk to yourself and ask yourself, what is it that you want to do in life? Most people would say, I want to make money. I think money is just a resource. What will you do with that money is the question that you need to ask.
Money is an outcome, not an end result.
Yes. And have absolute clarity about what you want to do with your life, purpose clarity. The day you have that, and the day you start working in that direction, you would have achieved happiness.
Right.
I think at the end of the day, we all are chasing happiness more than anything else.
Right. So true. If you enjoyed this video, then please do drop a like, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And most importantly, if you have find some value in this episode, then do support us monetarily by clicking on the payment link in the description. You can pay whatever amount you want to pay. Thank you so much.